Laborites, come look
Mr.
at
Damian
this.
Crawford, show one chart with the poverty rate since 1988 till 2025. Made have an idea, but we never know it was so bad. When JLP left office in 1989, the poverty rate was 30.5%. Me just say 30.5 people out of every 100 people are in a poverty. When PNP take it, for the 17-year one attack, say PNP never do nothing. And left it back in 2007. PNP carried on back to 9.9%. Just under 10%. PNP have them and give Bruce Golding no. When PNP had take it back from Bruce Golding in 2012, the poverty level gone way back up to 18.8%. Bruce Golding double it again. PNP take it back and carry down back in 2012 to 2016 to 11% and give Andrew. For Andrew get it at 11%. Andrew that carried down by not all percent, it got up to 12.1% since Andrew get it. It's approved to show us which government, which party are the better party for the poor people.
You see me I sweat? I run come here. My grandfather just text me and tell me say Andrew they were my fret. Then Andrew you could tell me say you go scam in school. And me take all of my money and go college. Then I saw me fool. What I go down to Jamaica in a year? Yes, right in the political arena. Then I so much money I move through the company them. Nearly 500 million, my friend. Bro, God saying work hard for everything we ain't have. And I never go spoon do it. Me want to learn bro God's secret so well it can finally reach me. The Integrity Commission report is out. And them say a 3 company the money I move through. Then this no look safe. Bro God, what you go do? They say the matter is very complex. So they call for an independent forensic examiner. Then bro God, this no bigger than we. Like you are the leader for all scammer. $473.2 million to hold this money a big. You know say a 3 bank bro God fling it in a. Then you know say we can't trust this prime minister. Yeah. Bro God said no, JLP is being investigated for illicit enrichment. Then how Jamaica people reach here? It look like we want a new management. Then from 2023 bro God and the investigation. Then bro God make a mislead way. You never know say this one if you mention. Then I saw bro God expect to live and have poor people as suffer. Him alone for them food and the rest of the way I walk till we turn papa. That way they look tangle, but who is to be blamed? And who put him in a power? The same people them we are complain. The PNP them depend on one year and them nah lego this. Me no think me can manage this one year. Somebody run go call L.A. Lewis. Pack your bag and your oldness. At that KD night say, Jamaica people no want you no more. A go your figure.
What's up good people, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to talk about something that touches every single one of Jamaican people, and this is something that hits close to the heart, to home for so many in Jamaica and honestly speaking across the globe, that is poverty. And we're going to be reacting to some truly eye-opening data, chart that supposedly lays bare the reality of poverty rates in Jamaica from way back in 1988 all the way up to projections for 2025. And believe me, this is not just about numbers on a screen. It's about lives, it's about futures, and it's about the real impact of political leaderships on the most vulnerable people in Jamaica. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Here we go, another political debate. No, I'm not here for politics, but hold on for a second. My aim here is to make sides, not to take sides, but to overtly weigh. My goal is to look at the facts, to unpack what this data truly is telling us, and to perhaps spark as a much needed conversation about accountability and progress. Because let us be honest with ourselves, we all want to see Jamaica thrive, and a thriving Jamaica means fewer people struggling to put food on their tables, fewer families wondering where the next meal will be coming from. This video that we're about to watch makes some pretty bold claims, and it directly attributes significant shifts in poverty levels to the two major political forces in the country, the People's National Party, or the PNP, and the Jamaica Labour Party, the JLP. The core argument it presents is that the PNP during its time in power has been instrumental in substantially reducing poverty, while JLP, on the other hand, is painted as having overseen increases in poverty. That's a heavy claim, and it's one that, if true, has a massive implications for how we view our political landscape and how we entrust with our nation's future. Our nation's future. So we are talking about a chart that covers decades from the late 80s right through the projections for the next year, that is 2026. That's a long stretch of time, enough for multiple administrations, multiple policies, and countless real-life consequences. When we look at poverty, we are not just talking about statistics. We are talking about access to education, healthcare, housing, and basic human dignity. So when a chart comes along and essentially says, this party did good, this one not so much, it demands our attention, it demands a closer look. I've been doing some digging myself, trying to understand the broader economic context surrounding these numbers. And Jamaica, like many other developing nations, faces a complex web of challenges. We've seen periods of economic growth, but also external shocks like global recessions, commodity price fluctuations, and more recently, the devastating impact of global pandemic. How do these external factors play into the poverty narrative? Are these numbers solely a reflection of internal policy, or are there larger forces at play? These are kinds of questions we need to be asking ourselves as we go through this. So the main aim of this video is to demonstrate which political entity has more beneficial for the country's impoverished population. That's a powerful statement. It's essentially asking us to evaluate which party has truly put the poor people first, and in a country where income inequality is still a significant concern, where many still live below the poverty line, this question isn't just academic. It's a profoundly personal for millions of Jamaicans. So as we jump into this, I want you to keep an open mind. Let's not dissect this information. Let's not just accept what was presented at the face of value, but rather let us analyze it, question it, and connect it to the real world experiences we all see and hear about. Because today, this is not about a reaction. It's something that is really happening in Jamaica. So I have a couple of videos I'd like you to watch, and then I'll be back with my further analysis.
Look around Jamaica. The nation doesn't own anything. Nothing is state-owned. Highways are supposed to be income generator for a nation. Jamaica doesn't own that. They do not own the ports. They do not own the wharf, the airport. That's gone. Now, the cockpit country will be destroyed. The backside is not state-owned. Now, we have lost everything that should be earning revenue for us. Think about the tourist industry. Do you see Jamaicans owning these major all-inclusive hotels? No. These are the new slave plantations owned by foreigners. Go to the hotel right now to spend the weekend and talk to the people who work there. You have people working in these major hotels for months without pay. Months. Some of them get a free ride from the town center to the hotel, the staff bus, and them get some free lunch. That's it. They depend on the gratuity of the good people. This is an all-inclusive hotel. You don't have to tip them. But people do tip them. That's how they survive. Now, you wonder why teachers, nurses, police officers, soldiers, all these people who are supposed to be developing the nation are running away from Jamaica. You can't live a meaningful life in Jamaica unless you're corrupted. And you guys don't come in here and talk about how X, Y, and Z do it. 90% of these people earn their income and their wealth and their fortune through illicit means. I'm talking about legal people. Law-abiding people. You understand? People who actually live a life that's meaningful and filled with integrity. Then you wonder why people leave Jamaica. I know everybody want corrupt. I know everybody want do wrongs. And we have some leaders who does not care. And it's sad. It aches us. It aches us that the people who are supposed to be providing opportunities are taking them away. John, no, it's rough.
Jamaica, we have a problem. We have a serious problem. This is not a new problem. This is a very old problem. And thanks social media that today we get to talk about this with the hopes that our posts, that our videos get to the right ears, that get to the right people, and enough of us is talking about it, and we can find a suitable solution for this big problem. If you are new here, my name is Flor. I am Cuban, and I live in Jamaica for over 20 years. And of course, my country, boy, I don't know if this is a blessing or a curse because people always come for me in the comments because of this. But my country, Cuba, is very well known for its health services. Although it's not perfect, somehow our doctors make it all over the world and they end up helping a lot of people and saving a lot of lives. So, of course, if there is anybody with a medical emergency in Jamaica, they come to me. One look at me. Me is not a doctor. Me don't work at hospital. Just take a moment to put this into perspective. Me as a Cuban living in Jamaica, who I provide jobs because I'm a business owner, who have to take her own cooking oil, go fix roads, and I'm sure you have seen my viral video about this. Also have to provide medical care for Jamaican people. Now you tell me now if that is not an embarrassment. The most recent one being a mom from country with her tiny baby in need of a ventilator. The hospital in the parish where she is located, I'm not going to be sharing where, doesn't have the facilities to assist this child. The medical staff at the hospital is very willing and able, but they just don't have the equipment to work with. And this message came to me as I came across this article by the Gleaner. Nearly half of ventilators in the public system are out of service. Of the 91 life-saving machines spread across the Kingston Public, Victoria Jubilee, Spanish Town, and Princeton's Margaret Hospital, as well as the Bustamante Hospital for Children, 49 are working and 42 are non-operational. Just make sure to check out the Gleaner and read the entire article. I was over by X and somebody did the math and the calculation was like about 4 ventilators per hospital, which is outrageous because according to Google, you're supposed to have at least a dozen per every 100,000 people. As a mother, I cannot imagine having an 11-month-old baby in dire need of a ventilator, and no matter how much money you have, you're unable to find it. Because I reach out to Hospital. And if you don't know what Hospital is, you go ahead and Google Hospital. And they do not have this type of care for children at that very top of the line expensive hospital. So even if you have all the money and you want to transfer this baby go to Cuba, like how this mother reached out to me to transfer her baby go to Cuba to get care in another country where they speak a different language, she can't because the baby is not stable enough to take that flight. The only thing will be an air ambulance. And I guess only Andrew can afford that in Jamaica. We want Uno to go ahead and save this post in case Uno have any medical emergency. Uno can reach out to this airline right here where they offer these services. I also have a contact for a doctor that does assessments and facilitates transfers from Jamaica to Cuba to receive health care. It is shameful, Ministry of Health. It is shameful that people have to be reaching out to foreigners on social media in the hopes to be able to receive health care. It is a shame. The well-being and the health of your citizens is the priority. Not your Benz and your Range Rovers and your private jets and your mansions all over the world. It's about time we make a change. Thank you so much for watching. We shall have.
There is something else I'm trying to understand, but I just can't understand it at all. And somebody please help me with this one. Because I don't know when a new ministry was erected that is called Investigate the Life of the Leader of the Opposition and His Personal Business.
Because this government, basically known to be distractors, are now turning a blind eye to the actual cries and concerns of the people of this country. Mr. Prime Minister, how many children have been killed and hurt over the past few months? And we have heard nothing from the minister or the Ministry of Education. We've seen no convention. We've seen nobody going into these schools consoling and speaking to children about what the problem actually is. So, Mr. Prime Minister, leave Mark business alone and deal with your business. As a matter of fact, deal with the country's business. You are too distracted, but I guess that is something that Mark Golding has on you guys. Anytime you realize, say, something that come up and there is something that is brewing in the People's National Party, you pull all sorts of stunts and flips like a bunch of circus puppy shows. Listen to me, Mr. Minister. Get the people's work done. Get the people's best interest at heart. And it's not our fault. It's no longer a battle of JLP and PNP, but JLP and the people of this country and JLP and themselves. It's not our fault. Now listen to me and listen to me good. Whether or not Mark Golding a Jamaican, African, England, British, anything. You see, when you call it Andrew, he will be the next Prime Minister of this country. So get on the act together. Puppy shows.
Alright, that was a lot to take in, and the chart that I've presented and the narrative built around it, it paints a very specific picture. Let's break down the key figures and claims, and then crucially, let us bring in some wider context. First off, the claim about the JLP leaving office in 1989 with a poverty rate of 30.5%. That's a staggering number. To put that into perspective for our younger viewers or those not with familiar that area, Jamaica in the late 80s was indeed grappling with significant economic challenges. Structural adjustment programs, high inflation and unemployment were prevalent. So a high poverty rate at that time unfortunately aligns with the historical economic difficulties. Now, the video then highlights the PNP's impressive feat, reducing that 30.5% poverty rate in 1989 to a remarkable 9.9% by 2007 over a period of 17 years. 17 years is a long time, and a reduction of over 20% points is undeniably significant. This period under the PNP saw various social programs, economic reforms, and efforts towards stabilization. For instance, the PNP administrations of the 90s and early 2000s, particularly under PJ Patterson, focused on attracting foreign investment, privatizing state entities, and trying to improve social services. While not without their own economic challenges, the claim of a substantial poverty reduction during this period does warrant attention, right? The Economic and Social Survey Jamaica, that is ESSJ, reports from that era often highlighted improvements in various social indicators, even amidst economic ups and downs. But then the narrative takes a turn. We hear that when the PNP handed over to Bruce Golding's JLP administration in 2007, though the video says 2012 when PNP took back from Golding, implying Golding was in power before 2012, the poverty level had supposedly increased significantly to 18.8. This is where things get a bit more complex, because we have external factors that become incredibly important. Because you see, Bruce Golding's JLP government came into power in September 2007.
There is something else I'm trying to understand, but I just can't understand it at all. And somebody please help me with this one, because I don't know when a new ministry was erected that is called investigate the life of the leader of the opposition and his personal business. Because this government, basically known to be distractors, are now turning a blind eye to the actual cries and concerns of the people of this country. country. Mr. Prime Minister, how many children have been killed and hurt over the past few months? And we have heard nothing from the minister or the Ministry of Education. We've seen no convention, we've seen nobody going into these schools consoling and speaking to children about what the problem actually is. So Mr. Prime Minister, leave Mark business alone and deal with your business. As a matter of fact, deal with the country's business. You are too distracted, but I guess that is something that Mark Golding has on you guys. Anytime you realize, say, something that come up and there is something that is brewing in the People's National Party, you pull out sort of stunts and flips like a bunch of circus puppy shows. Listen to me, Mr. Minister. Get the people's work done. Get the people's best interest at heart. And it's not our fault. It's no longer a battle of JLP and PNP, but JLP and the people of this country and JLP and themselves. It's not our fault. Now listen to me and listen to me good. Whether or not Mark Golding a Jamaican, African, England, British, anything. You see, when you call it Andrew, he will be the next Prime Minister of this country. So get on the act together. Puppy shows.
On poverty reduction. And finally, from the video, since Andrew Holness of the JLP took over in 2016, the poverty rate, which was at 11%, has increased to 12.1%. This is the most recent period, and again, context is everything. Since 2016, Jamaica has experienced periods of robust economic growth, particularly pre-COVID. Unemployment reached historic lows. However, the COVID-19 pandemic, which hit early in 2020, significantly impacted Jamaica's economy, especially in sectors like tourism, because we had lockdowns, travel restrictions, and supply chain disruptions, undoubtedly pushed more people into poverty or exacerbated existing vulnerabilities. The 1.1% point increase cited, while an increase nonetheless needs to be viewed through the lens of global pandemic that are disproportionately affected vulnerable populations. Furthermore, you see, we have recent reports from STAT, that is Statistical Institute of Jamaica, on poverty, often highlight regional disparities and the impact of inflation on household purchasing power. For instance, the cost of living has been a significant concern for many Jamaicans, and while economic growth may be reported, it does not always translate immediately or evenly into poverty reduction for all segments of the population. So what does all this really tells us? The video's core argument is that the PNP has been better for the poor people, seems to lean heavily on the two periods where poverty rates saw significant reductions under PNP administrations. And credit, we give credit where it's due. Those reductions are impressive, right? However, it's overly simplistic to ignore the massive external shocks that impacted the JLP's periods in office, particularly the 2008 global financial crisis and the recent COVID-19 pandemic. While political decisions certainly play a role, global economic forces can be overwhelming sometimes. And it's also important, my viewers, to know that poverty alleviation isn't a linear process, and it's not solely dependent on which party is in power. It's influenced by a multitude of factors. Talk about global economic health, commodity prices, natural disaster, investment climate, social safety nets, educational access, and even things like crime rates and public health. Both parties have at different times implemented policies aimed at poverty reduction through their approaches. Though their approaches may differ. For instance, JLP has focused heavily on job creation through large-scale infrastructure projects and attracting foreign direct investment. The PNP has historically emphasized social welfare programs and human capital developments. Ultimately, this data, while compelling, serves as a powerful reminder of the ongoing struggle against poverty in Jamaica. It highlights that progress can be made, but it also underscores the fragility of that progress in the face of unforeseen global events. Rather than simply declaring one party is better, perhaps the more valuable takeaway is the continuous need for robust evidence-based policies regardless of who is in power. Policies that are adaptable to global challenges, and crucially, policies that genuinely prioritize the well-being and upliftment of every single Jamaican, especially those who are most vulnerable. Because at the end of the day, it's not about red or green or orange. Orange or green. It's about seeing every Jamaican rise above hardship. It's about ensuring every child has access to education, every family has food on their table, and every individual has the opportunity to build a better life. And that, my friends, is a goal we should all be striving for together. Let me know what you think in the comments below. This chart and whatever these different speakers have talked about, do they resonate with you? Do you think that PNP is better than JLP when it comes to matters when it comes to poverty reduction and social welfare of the people? I don't know what you think about this, but tell me in the comments. Remember to like this video so that the YouTube algorithm can be favorable to it and it can be pushed to as many people as possible. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, turn on post notifications so that every day I post new videos, you don't miss out on it. Trust me, your boy Sam. This is the Diaspora Review, and I hope to see you in the next video. Peace out.